In a world where dinosaurs had vanished, a new kind of predator rose from the shadows. Towering over most creatures, armed with a beak that could crush bone and legs that could outrun a horse, these weren't your average birds. These were the terror birds, Earth's forgotten apex predators. But who were these flightless hunters? How did they dominate without wings? And what ultimately brought them down? Stay with me, because what you're about to discover might change how you see prehistoric power forever. When the asteroid struck 66 million years ago, it marked the end of an era, the final chapter in the reign of the dinosaurs. Yet while giants like T-Rex crumbled into extinction, the stage was quietly being set for new monsters to rise. South America, a continent isolated by oceans and tectonic shifts, became a cradle for strange and formidable creatures. Without large carnivorous dinosaurs or modern mammalian predators to dominate the food chain, something unexpected happened. About 60 million years ago, the phorusrhacids emerged, a family of birds that defied everything we associate with their kind today. Forget feathers and flight songs. These birds were fast, fierce, and frightening. Some were small, about the size of a dog. Others were nightmarish. Towering up to 10 feet tall and weighing over 500 pounds, the largest among them were more predator than bird. But what made them different wasn't just size, it was purpose. Evolution hadn't given them wings to soar, it gave them legs to hunt. Their bones were dense. Their musculature was designed for sprinting, and their vision, as sharp as a hawk's with binocular depth, perfect for tracking prey. In a world without lions, tigers, or wolves, these birds were nature's answer to apex predation. You've seen birds peck. But what if a peck could shatter bone? The beak of a terror bird wasn't a tool for scavenging. It was a weapon, one of the most terrifying adaptations in avian history. Hooked like a raptor's claw, the beak could slice, pierce, and crush. Paleontologists studying fossilized skulls found something chilling. These beaks could generate an incredible amount of force, enough to snap through the spines of their prey. Some scientists believe they could kill with a single blow. But what's even more haunting? They were precise. Fossil evidence suggests these birds didn't just slash wildly. They targeted weak points, necks, skulls, soft underbellies. They knew where to strike, like assassins, and they didn't do it alone. While most terror birds were solitary, some species may have hunted in small groups, using speed and coordination to corner prey. Imagine standing in the open plains, hearing nothing, until a blur of feathers and fury descends upon you. In that instant, the hunt was over. To understand how these birds thrived, we have to understand the world they ruled. South America, for millions of years, was like an island lost in time. The animals that evolved here were isolated from the rest of the world and wildly different. Instead of lions, there were giant flightless birds. Instead of horses, there were tiny three-toed mammals. Sloths the size of elephants roamed the forests, and armadillos came in tank-like forms called glyptodonts. In this prehistoric theater of the bizarre, the terror birds filled a niche that anywhere else would belong to big cats or wolves. Some phorusrhacids stalked the dense undergrowth, moving silently between ancient trees. Others preferred the open grasslands, using bursts of speed to run down anything smaller than themselves. They adapted to the land, and they mastered it. Even their legs were special. Fossil reconstructions show a flexible joint design that allowed for tight, pivoting turns perfect for chasing nimble prey. They weren't clumsy giants. They were agile, deadly, and they knew it. But despite their dominance, their kingdom was fragile, and the tide was about to turn. Roughly 3 million years ago, everything changed. A geological event known as the Great American Interchange occurred. A land bridge formed between North and South America, uniting the continents for the first time in tens of millions of years. What followed was an invasion. From the north came creatures the terror birds had never encountered. Saber-toothed cats with dagger-like fangs, dire wolves with powerful pack instincts, and massive short-faced bears that could overpower almost anything. Terror birds had ruled in solitude, but now they were up against predators that evolved in a much more competitive ecosystem. These new predators hunted together, used complex strategies, and had biting power that even a beak couldn't match. The balance of power shifted, subtly at first. Prey animals started disappearing. Competition increased. Nests were raided. Territories shrank. And slowly, the terror birds began to fade. The last known terror bird, Titanus walleri, was found not in South America, but in what is now Florida. It survived long enough to witness the early Pleistocene, roughly 1.8 million years ago. But after that, silence. There are no confirmed fossils younger than that date, no signs of nests, no gradual decline, just a sudden disappearance. Some scientists believe they were outcompeted, that mammals, with their adaptability and social behaviors, simply overtook the birds. Others point to climate change. Shifting temperatures and changing vegetation may have made survival difficult for such large predators. Still, a few paleontologists believe the answer lies elsewhere, in the gaps. There are legends, whispered stories from South American folklore of monstrous birds that hunted the forests well after their supposed extinction. Some native tribes speak of giant feathered spirits that could strike without warning. Coincidence? Or something more? We may never know. But the fossil record still has secrets to tell. Legacy of the feathered shadows. When we look at birds today, we see creatures of the sky. Light, graceful, often harmless. But terror birds remind us of another truth, that beneath the feathers lies a memory of violence, of dominance, of rule. They weren't accidents of evolution. They were apex predators perfectly tailored to their time and place. Their extinction wasn't just the end of a species. It was the closing of a chapter in the story of life on Earth. A chapter where birds, not mammals, held the throne. And perhaps that's the most haunting part, because it shows us how fragile dominance can be. That no matter how powerful, how perfected, nothing lasts forever. So next time you hear a crow caw or watch a hawk circle overhead, remember, their ancestors once ruled the land. And somewhere, deep beneath our feet, the bones of their forgotten cousins still lie in silence. What else waits to be unearthed? If this gave you chills, just wait until you see the creatures that came before the terror birds. Subscribe and enter the ancient Myst.